Samsung's insane desire to cater to every price segment possible has resulted in yet another new lineage, the Galaxy On series. Today in this video, let's take a look at the Galaxy On7, the larger and pricier of the two. But before we do, if this is your first time here, or in case you've gotten all confused trying to sort through all of Samsung's new lines and can't remember, well, I'm not gonna blame you for it. I can barely keep count and it's my job to. So let me introduce myself. My name's Ash, this is C4E Tech, and you're watching my full review of the Samsung Galaxy On7. Let's get started. Let's start with the build. The Galaxy On7 is reminiscent of Samsung's phones from years past. We have a removable back, and underneath we have two micro SIM card slots and a micro SD card slot. There's also a user replaceable 3000 mAh battery here. To the front, on top, we have the earpiece, sensors, and a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Below that, we have Samsung branding, a 5.5-inch display, and the familiar physical home key flanked by capacitive recent apps and back keys. These keys are in backlit. To the back, we have an LED flash, a 13 megapixel rear camera, and a speaker. Lower below, we have Samsung branding again. Note that there's no dual branding here despite this being a dual SIM phone. It's also worth mentioning that the On7 also lacks a notification LED. To the left, we have the volume rockers and the power button is present to the right. The microphone, micro USB port, and the headphone jack reside at the bottom. Another thing worth noting is the fact that this phone does not have a secondary noise cancelling microphone. The On7 is 8.2mm thick and weighs in at 172 grams. The back is made out of grippy plastic, and the fact that it curves similar to the 3D glass on the Note 5 makes the On7 feel secure and comfortable to hold in hand. Also, given the size of the On7, single-handed usage might not be possible at all times. Talking about size, the Galaxy On7 sports a 5.5-inch TFT display with a 720p resolution, meaning a pixel density of 267 pixels per inch. The display isn't too sharp, but it's okay for the most part. There is some color shifting at extreme angles, but the display, like I said, is okay. The main con here is the lack of any kind of protection on top. Not only is something like Gorilla Glass missing, this display doesn't even have an oleophobic coating, so it picks up a lot of smudges and fingerprints, and that really hurts the viewing experience, especially while consuming media. Additionally, in traditional Samsung fashion, Samsung's omitted an auto brightness sensor here. At least the display gets bright enough and using it outdoors is not a problem. Talking about sensors, Samsung's also failed to include a lot of other basic sensors. On the flip side, USB OTG is present and accounted for. Underneath the hood, the Galaxy On7 is powered by a 64-bit Snapdragon 410 chip. Now that's 4 Cortex A53 cores clocked at 1.2 GHz each, coupled with an Adreno 306 GPU and 1.5 gigs of RAM. There's 8 gigs of onboard storage with room for expansion via microSD or USB OTG. With synthetic benchmarks, the On7 performs quite decently. With day-to-day intensive scenarios, it even managed to run some games smoothly. With intensive gaming, do expect some stutters, but overall the performance here is decent. The audio via the rear speaker is a little too quiet for my liking. The quality via the 3.5mm headphone jack though was good. Nothing to complain about. Cellular reception and call quality, like with most Samsung phones, was top-notch. Now, all this is powered by a 3000 mAh battery, and the battery performance was great. On a looping video playback test, the Galaxy On7 lasted a little over 10 hours before running out of juice. I constantly got over 4 hours of screen on time with my typical usage. If that wasn't enough, Samsung's thrown in power saving options including the ultra power saving mode to help you get the most out of this battery. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's now move on to cameras. The Galaxy On7 sports a 13 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front shooter. The rear camera's performance is mediocre at best. Images shot with it came out soft and lacked detail. The colors were usually accurate but felt a little washed out. With an aperture of f/2.1, the bokeh effects found here are noticeably lesser compared to other Samsung stablemates like the J7. I also found the dynamic range severely lacking. Under low light, all these issues were exemplified. As far as video goes, this camera can shoot 1080p videos at 30 frames per second, and the performance was better. Barring dynamic range, the videos were perfectly usable. The 5 megapixel front camera can shoot decent selfies, and the wide selfie mode also makes a return here. The user interface is nothing new. The modes are a little thin. The Pro mode offers only basic functionality, lets you change only the white balance, exposure, and ISO. The shutter response is decent, and the camera app can be triggered by double pressing the home key. Anyway, talking about software, the Galaxy On7 runs on Android 5.1 Lollipop with Samsung's new Touchwiz UI on top. And this year, Samsung's put in some serious work into Touchwiz, meaning the performance is quite good. Samsung's included a bunch of their own apps and a few third-party apps, but thankfully, the list has been kept small. The few included ones like Opera Max do help. Samsung's Ultra Data Savings returns, and this basically turns apps that use data in the background off and compresses data when you use Opera Max. This helps you reduce data usage. In another attempt to demarcate lines of devices, Samsung's removed the theme engine entirely here, so no themes, no customization. But that said, the user experience on the ON7 was quite good. It was responsive, apps opened up quick, multitasking was smooth, scrolling, browsing, everything worked as expected. Priced at 10,999 rupees, the Galaxy ON7 hopes to compete against offerings from other brands who've threatened to price Samsung out of the lower mid-range segment. So, is the ON7 worth your time? Well, here are some obvious cons for you to consider. Lack of protection for the display, lack of even an oleophobic coating making the display a fingerprint magnet, lack of sensors including auto brightness, lack of a notification LED, low output levels for the internal speaker, lack of a secondary noise cancelling microphone, a mediocre camera, lack of backlight for capacitive keys, and lack of haptic feedback. As always, this isn't even something that's missing. You can activate haptic feedback via third-party keyboard replacements, but Samsung disabled it just for the capacitive keys and the stock keyboard. So if you just heard my list, there were a lot of lack-offs there. Most brands like Lenovo, Meizu, Xiaomi or You have offerings in this price segment with a shorter list of lack-offs. But if you can live with these cons and or want to go only with Samsung in this price segment, then the ON7 might just serve you. Maybe, I guess. Like I said, if you're willing to look past Samsung, there are other smartphones that offer you better bang for your buck. Then again, that's just my opinion. What do you think? Do you agree with my conclusion here? Do you feel Samsung's omitting a lot of things for just no reason, just to demarcate between different segments of phones? Or do you feel this phone brings great value and this is something you must own? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So I guess that's it for my full review of the Galaxy ON7. Hope you liked the video. Hope you found it more professional than my unboxing. Let me know what you think in the comments below again. So if you liked it, you know what to do. If you didn't, if you have more constructive criticism to offer, comments. And if you don't want to pick one up, I mean, I'm gonna say consider other phones, but if you still insist, use my affiliate codes. I've got a direct link in the description below. Use them. And I guess that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, plug Twitter. So if you have any video requests for me, follow me on Twitter at C4eTech. That's where I'm most active these days. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Till next time, this is Ashia from C4eTech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now. And subscribe. I guess I said that, but if I didn't, subscribe. Down below, subscribe button. It's, I don't know what color it's in. It's in red these days, I guess. Subscribe. Below. Do it. Now. Subscribe.